you just have to make sure, one, if you're doing it as an independent contractor, that you've got insurance. And two, if you get hired as an employee, that you can do whatever you want. It's not that you can't do it. It's that they might not want you calling it therapy. And I would suggest getting started with groups, because once you start with groups, there will be other people in that group who know other people or who have issues, and then they'll come to you independently. And you will have to find a way then to rent space in a pool or work with them independently that that the facility thinks is okay.
Yeah, and I also cannot work as a physical therapist assistant without a physical therapist doing the initial evaluation.
Right.
And I will lose my license immediately. So, you know, I was thinking about doing like a few hours a day, maybe 5 days a week, just to be doing something aquatically at the YMCA. But I just don't want my PTA license to come into question at all in any way. So I can't, if I'm doing one-on-one with somebody, that's as a personal trainer. Do I need the insurance is what you're saying, but do I need a title like a AEA? Is that what it is?
No, you don't need any title. Okay. And you just can't use the word therapy. Okay. You can call it rehab. You can call it post-rehab. You can call it injury proofing. You can call it whatever you want.
Injury prevention.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whatever. So those of you who are just getting on, who just came on, we were talking to Sharon, who's in Maryland and is a PTA, but the pools aren't available. There hasn't been work available. So what can she do? What suggestions you have that she can do that not using her PTA title? So if anyone else wants to jump in before I start.
I love water breath.
Yeah.
If you can call it water breath, and just get people breathing and moving their arms and opening their bodies.
Yes.
And I work with some older people. They're not real old, but they get frantic when they have a little bump or a bruise. And if I can just get them to breathe and relax, then it's amazing. Then the whatever it was kind of goes away. They kind of get scared because they're alone.
Yeah.
Some of them. So I just call it breath work, water breath, and to breathe. And then I open my arms and do the first 5 moves of I Chi, and it works marvelous.
That's great. I love that. I can picture all of that. Yay. Yeah, breath work is so important. I worked it into almost everything when I was, PTA full time. Every patient, every exercise, let's breathe first, because if their breathing was off, I wanted them exhaling when they were exerting themselves, and then inhaling as they were returning to the start position. And it's very hard to teach that at first, but once they've got it, and then you finally see them after a couple of weeks and they're doing it automatically, I always would be like, point it out, look, you're doing it. I didn't have to cue you. I didn't have to show you. And they would even, 99% of the time, they would admit, just unsolicited, wow, it's easier to do this exercise when I'm exhaling, when I'm doing the hardest part. And it's very counterintuitive. We grunt, we hold our breath, explode. Yeah, it's right for ourselves, and it's hard to teach. It's really hard to explain it. So, but it's so important.
Other suggestions?
I didn't hear you, sorry.
Do you have other suggestions? Anybody else want to jump in?
Hi, Ruth. This is Renee. How are you?
I'm perfect.
Good, as always. Beth mentioned in one of her sessions that there's also, you could call it continuum care.
Continuum care.
Yeah, so that's the people, that it's not an insurance thing, and you do whatever you need to do in the water to assist them. So those are a lot of the people who fall through the cracks because they can't do insurance anymore, yet they still need something. So continuum care.
I like it.
And then they're paying out of pocket for that, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to chat. Then we're all going to talk because there are some. I'm just happy to see all of you, and I like it that Mo has her ATRI sweatshirt on, and so we need to check. Yes, H2O.
Yes.
So we need to chat and share, but first I'm going to talk to you about being perfect because none of you think you are. So I was doing some research and because I'm always researching for different things. Anyway, some of you have heard this story. I read that 80% of all the input we get about ourselves every day comes from our own brain. It comes from us. So anytime you think about, I wonder how I look, most of it's from your brain. Somebody can say you look really good today, and your own brain will contradict that and change it. The way you think about how your hair is, or how your intelligence is, or how articulate you are, or how happy you are, or those kinds of things come from inside our own brain. They're our own beliefs. They're beliefs that came to us when we were born, but there are also things that were shoved in there as we were growing up, from our parents, our siblings, our teachers, our friends, our anything like that. And somebody will say, well, I hope you're smart because you're not pretty, or those kinds of things. You get that kind of stuff, and some things just stay in your brain. So when you look in the mirror in the morning, how many of us say, wow, you are exactly the way you should be today. This is great. This is absolute perfection. So I was thinking, what happened after I read all that research, it was staying in my brain. And I saw somebody and they said, hi, how are you doing? And I said, okay. And I thought later, I can't say okay, because what this research says, every single thing that was in your brain became part of you. It was a belief. And so if I was saying that I was okay, that wasn't quite enough, because I'm not just okay, I'm better than okay. And I want my being to hear that. So I went through, for the next couple months, I went through words like, people would say, how are you? I'd say happy, or healthy, or strong, or gorgeous, or things like that. And so I was playing, I went through a litany of words to use. And finally, I decided I was perfect. And so I started saying perfect, as you heard when, I can't even remember who said, hi, how are you? I said perfect. It's natural now. And my being hears that I'm perfect when anybody says, how are you? So I got on an airplane one day and the flight attendant said, hi, how are you? And I said, perfect. And she pulled her head back and she said, only God is perfect. And being the daughter of a minister, you don't quiz me on that stuff. I said, oh, in the eyes of my creator, I am perfect. And some of you, I've told that story to some people and they cite the Bible verse. I can't do that. Anyway, she looked back at me and she said, I'll have to think about that. But it made me more resolved that I am perfect and you are perfect. We are exactly where we're supposed to be right now. We look exactly the way we're supposed to look. Our hair, our finances, our personal relationships, all of those things are perfect. And some of those things are teaching us stuff that we're supposed to know. But overall, I want you to know that you are perfect. Things change. I mean, 10 minutes from now, things will be different. Margaret will have to let the dog in and I'll have to let the cat in, and everything changes, but it constantly changes, and we have to accept that right now where we are is absolutely perfect. So that's all I want to say today. I just want to tell you that stop letting that junk into your brain. It's not horrible. There's nothing bad. It's just perfect. And it will change. And I'm going to talk another time about acceptance, because we have to accept that this is the way it is right now. We're supposed to be learning something from it, and we move forward. But I want you to, when you look in the mirror next time, I want you to know that you're perfect, just as you are. We all are perfect. And I can tell you this, I mean, seriously, who am I to say I know better than the Creator? And I don't care if you're religious or not, or a believer or not. I just want to tell you that I am totally I totally believe that you are perfect. So we can talk about being perfect now, or we can talk about each other. I could leave the room. You could. But I do think that we need to figure out who we all are. And so tell us your name, where you live, and briefly, don't take a long time, but do you have a pool? Are you in a pool? I don't care if you're working in a pool. I want to know if you're able to put your body in that pool. So Sharon, you come up first in my gallery. So can you start?
Yeah, my name is Sharon Frederick. I'm a PTA and I'm ATRI certified and have the ICHI certification also, which I love. And I have not been in a pool since March 12th. And I miss it terribly, 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 terribly. I love the pool. And I'm in Cumberland, Maryland. So looking for that next pool.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Just believe it. Mary?
Mary? Well, I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, and I am a licensed massage therapist, and I'm also ATRI certified, and I have the ICHI certification too. And I have been in a pool since about the late May. I go to the Y, and then my daughter has a pool, although her pool is now closed because it's gotten chilly here. And I said I was in Nashville, Tennessee. I've been in the same place for 44 years. And I raised my children here, and I love it. And I have a motorhome. So I need to do land ICHI when I'm out in the trees. And it's great to be here with all of you.
And Mary is our host today. So she is the one who let you all in, and because I forget to do things. Margaret.
My name is Margaret Curl. I live in Oklahoma City. I am a recreational therapist and I work at the Children's Center, and we are building a pool at this time. but I have been using my nephew's pool for the whole summer, but this morning it was 40 degrees, so the pool's not going to be very warm now. So we are getting into our cool time. So I'm just going to have to wait till November to get into the warm water again. I am ATRIC certified, and I am also IG. I've done aqua stretch. I've been around for a while. Yes, just and got some great news this morning. One of my office mates tested positive for COVID, so I'm getting going probably into quarantine here for 10 days.
Oh.
So,
Mm.
but I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling great.
The president.
Yes, perfect, Janelle, to spend more time with the dog.
There we go. That's right. He'll love it.
So Felicia, last time we got together was in California. And so this time when she said she was back on the East Coast, I thought, what's going on? So Felicia, let us know.
Okay, yes, Maryland is my birth state. Lived here all of but maybe 12 years, and have 29, coming up on my 29th anniversary of AEA certification, and probably got about 12 or 13 years under my belt with Ruth, which was a very fond memory when I wanted to do my continuing ed credits and took on ATRI in a Northern Virginia hotel during a Valentine's weekend snowstorm. And schools were closed. I had 3 elementary school children. I handed my husband the keys to the children and left, and gave my keys to the valet when I got to the hotel. Blustery winds, 1 lane driving around the Washington Beltway. Came out of there 3 days later feeling I'd spent $10,000 in a Canyon Ranch spa. I became an avid and complete compassionate person about therapy, and have since begun practicing personal training largely in a community setting where I've picked up private patients as well, like Ruth suggested initially. And more recently, in the last 3 years, after I crushed my sciatic nerve and lost my ability to walk, I had emergency back surgery, learned myofascial release, and have sworn by aquatic therapy, and have been teaching on cruise ships around the world, which was last curtailed in March. And after 30 days at sea, I wound up in London, and my daughter, who had an apartment in downtown LA, said, "Mom, it's safer for you to come here and let us take care of you." That's all it took. "Let me take care of you" was wonderful to hear from your oldest daughter. So we subsequently bought a house in the suburbs of LA, and I will live with her now. I'm back east with my sister right now, settling my affairs here, clearing out a 47-box storage unit, and trying to downsize still again. That's my story. I'm sticking to it, hoping to go back to a tennis and swim club in California where I took some classes, and they have an outdoor pool, and the instructor didn't show, and I taught, and they offered me a job.
Nice.
So I'm reinventing myself one more time.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Thanks, Felicia.
Thanks for asking.
Mo, you're on. Uh-oh.
Unmute.
Are you muted? Uh-oh. We can't hear you. Last time it was Jim. We couldn't hear Jim.
I'm letting Jim back in. He went out, and I'm checking to see. Is this Felicia? Felicia shows that she's muted.
Well, and that's okay.
Yeah, I was.
It's okay to mute yourself if, you know.
Yep.
Your dog starts
Okay.
barking.
And I don't care. I've read that there are rules on Facebook, on Zoom, proper etiquette. I don't care if you eat. I don't care if you're drinking something. You should be. You should always be.
Oh, I have this polka dot cup.
So that's okay. So Mo, you want to try to talk? Oh no, she's gone. Okay, Jim, can we hear you today? Not yet. So Patty, Chicago.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. I live about 35 miles outside of downtown Chicago in Bolingbrook, Illinois. Surrounded by wetlands. I guess I could say that President Trump calls it the swamps. But anyways, I'm a COTA, and I've been APRI certified since about 2001, I think, and involved with Tai Chi since 1999 when it was first introduced to me through Ruth's #1 video. And as far as pools go, I'm a member of a fitness club, and that pool has been open since I think June. And I feel so privileged to be able to be in that pool, although I think I'm basically the only one there. And other than that, we are in and out of social distancing a lot here in Illinois. But right now we're at level 5. So I've been taking things day by day and hoping that everyone stays well as myself.
Good. Thanks, Patty. And you don't live in a swamp. I live in a swamp. Florida is one big swamp. I can tell you that. And yeah, and she's the one. It was really funny because Felicia was saying it. We have conferences in many different places, but you would think Chicago would be the place where we'd run into Snowmageddon, which is still what we call the DC event that Felicia was talking about. Snowmageddon. That's just what we call it. And we think of it and say, oh, can we go? So yeah, that was fun. Fun to hear these things. Lisa.
Hi, I'm in Parsippany, New Jersey. I am working at home. My corporate office, which is in Nazareth, Pennsylvania, we have an association with Rodale Aquatic Center in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. And they, and I'm very respectful and impressed with their director, Susan Danish. And we were speaking this week about the challenges the tremendous challenges that they have as a civic university pool. And they have two pools, a huge one that socially distancing rules in Pennsylvania make it so that it's one person per lane, and they've had to let go of, a huge number of staff. The number of people in a class now are 7 in a very large pool indoors. And I was speaking to her this week, and having not been there, and because I am I have comorbidities, so my husband and I are very much at home. I'm working. But when she was explaining the challenges of running a facility, keeping it open for the community, I was overwhelmed with what she's going through.
Yeah, that's amazing. So yeah, Lisa, you got to take care of yourself. And it's hard for people like Lisa and our staff person, Mary Jane, who just moved before this happened, knows one neighbor who happens to have COVID, has no relatives, no connections, and has comorbidities. Also, really hard to accept that this is something we should be learning from. But I think it's, we just roll with it. And obviously you are. And Mary Jane is too. Is it roll with it? You find a new way to make it work. And I think it shows our resilience as human beings. It's just great. So thanks. And thanks, Lisa, for being here today.
I thank you.
On the things. And I like it that we're both wearing our red glasses. So,
Yes.
Diane.
Hi, I'm Diane Kapelansky. I'm a physical therapist. I work in Michigan. I'm a little bit outside of Detroit, about 30 miles. And I've been back in the pool since June. It was, we had a lot of patients that were clamoring to get back into the pool, and we had to put people on a waiting list, which was crazy. But we work with shields, and I'm doing pretty much everything I did before, just with a shield on in the water and with a mask on in the clinic. I think that kind of like rolling with it, and I am religious, so I do feel that we were placed here at this time for, for many specific reasons, very personal to each one of us. And we need to listen to ourselves, but we also need to listen to God. And I don't think God is telling us that our hair is not right. I think that comes from something else. So I'm looking at everybody's face, and I recognize some of you people from Chicago conferences, but and from Florida, but it's just really good to see everybody. You're all beautiful, and we need to believe that God loves us, and to trust that we're given everything we need to get through this day and to get through the next client or the next person who's sick. So really, really trust yourself, because you're given these gifts, you're meant to use them, and trust that and go with that. So.
Great. Thanks, Diane. Yeah. Okay, Bev, now we get Pennsylvania. This is great.
Yay! I'm in Philadelphia, and I have not taught for quite a while. I'm not a therapist. I'm an instructor. And but I belong to a very interesting gym right now. It's not a Y. It's a big tennis center, and they have basketball. They have all kinds of stuff. But they also offer aquatic therapy at this location. So they have a therapy pool, and they have a small deep water pool, just those two pools. But the problem is they have no idea what they're doing because, well, they had somebody who was a group exercise instructor that was, she was hiring the instructors in the pool, and they're offering like Zumba, the therapy pool, and step and all kinds of cardio, swimming in the therapy pool. But anyway, they have no concept of temperature, and the fact that the pool it just screams for Tai Chi and things like that, but they don't have any concept of that. And a few weeks ago, I mentioned to them, I said, offer an Tai Chi class, and it's like I came from Mars. They had no idea what I was talking about. And I thought, they could do so many wellness things there. You could have arthritis, and you could do a Parkinson's class. You can do all kinds of yoga and all that, but they're teaching Zumba. I'm like, my God. So I handed the manager, Krista sent me some stuff about temperatures, like what's appropriate for each temperature, and I handed it to them. So right now they're not teaching anything, but I'll be interested to see if they can with this silliness that they're doing, because that pool has so much potential. I mean, to have a deep water pool and a therapy pool, and it's a good size therapy pool, and yet they don't know how to use it is a sin.
It's Okay, so we have to think of ideas for Bev and her pool that don't directly maybe come from her, but come from other places that she can get information, like she gave this stuff from Chris about temperatures. Also, it's not, I'm not a therapist. I'm an instructor. Don't start with what I'm not. Start with what you are. You know what? We are ourselves. We're not.
Mhm.
I'm not I'm not Bud.
No negatives.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's just start with who you are. Okay, does anyone have, before we go on, any suggestions for Bev about, I mean, here's this great pool, and Margaret is salivating because she wishes her pool were done, and she's going to be in charge of the pool. Maybe she has ideas. Whatever, and suggestions. Open it up.
Justin, what if you did a demonstration day and just do a little sampling, kind of like the intro class that Ruth teaches, where you're showing Badragas, you're showing Ai Chi, just the things that you know very well. Just showing and talking about what levels are good for training. I like to do aqua jogging and aqua running. You can sample that with equipment and just, show that vertical aquatics is just as valid as horizontal, and it's really to help people get over the hump of everyone gets injured. It seems like, especially big athletes. So it's really to their advantage to have a full range of services there. And demonstration, where you're actually in the water, maybe with one other person, and showing some of the techniques. If you do aqua stretch, show the hands-on stuff, whatever works with COVID. But yeah, that's my suggestion.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go in the back door, like you said, and maybe there aren't a lot of people that go there. There's very few, but there are some seniors, and if I can, just make, would you like to see whatever this is? The other problem I have is that they just not hired him because he worked there. There was a guy who he was teaching swimming, and now they made him the aquatics director. But his background is really lifeguard. And he just became in this position. So I think he feels really threatened that anybody's offering, because I don't think he's certified in anything except lifeguard. And I just feel like if somebody comes in and says, I can offer this and this, I just got bad vibes from him anyway, that he doesn't want. And it's a shame because they could make it into a whole like aquatic wellness center. It could be fabulous.
Reach out to your retirement homes or retirement centers, communities, and offer classes for the people to come to. The arthritis, that's the top thing for the geriatric population, and everybody likes warm water. So that's something that could be.
Yeah, I kind of did that too, but around this area, they have no idea when you say Ai Chi. Like I saw this woman in my chiropractor's office actually who worked at a retirement place, and she was talking about how they offered Tai Chi in the water. And I said, no, Ai Chi's not the same. And then I checked their schedule about a month later, and she was offering Ai Chi all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure, I don't know what she's teaching, but I'm pretty sure it's not. It's really funny how, the concept of Ai Chi, if people haven't seen it and right. Like they don't know what, and it's unfortunate because yes, if you, like Sharon says, if you offer it, if they see it and try it, they'll love it. Mm-hmm. Because that's how I got teaching Ai Chi before with my class from a while ago, is that I offered the class, and at the end, the cool down was Ai Chi. Well, as it turned out, they just loved it. And they would get really angry if I wasn't doing Ai Chi with them at the end.
Yeah.
But that's the problem, is getting your foot in the door.
I have a suggestion. I'm sorry I didn't hear the whole thing, but maybe you could, get your thoughts together and have an office visit with this young man, the lifeguard turned manager, and explain to him, you know, just kind of lay it out and say you can be of help to him. Try not to be intimidating, but, you know, kind of explain to him all of your knowledge and that you can be of help and make the place a cool place.
Well, I think that's, I agree with you. I think that's rather than, yeah, it's to look like you're helping him rather than taking something over. Now, hopefully he'll agree to it, because
yeah,
I probably would give that a try.
You know,
just ask him for an appointment.
we have friends at USA Swimming, and they support aquatic therapy. So if you need something, probably Sue or McNelson could, well, and they've got material about it. And they've got information about pool temps too. So, yep, let me know if I can help you more, or we can connect somehow in chat or something. But we need to hear from Mo now that she's...
Now I'm back.
Found her.
I
Thank
found
you,
my
everybody,
mic.
for your advice. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. My name is Mo Johnson, and I live in Virginia. I love aquatics. The pool is my home, but I haven't been able to be in the water since about March 9th-ish. The pool did open again, you know, like they're dividing parts of it so that you could get in, but I'm in a quarantine with my family, and we're trying to stay safe. So I'm trying to stay mobile by doing exercises at home, stuff like that. So I retired about 2 years ago from a job that I was a personal trainer, mostly a therapeutic personal trainer. My background is I was a swimmer all my life, a lifeguard instructor, swimming instructor. Then I became a water fitness instructor about 25 years ago. And I love you, Ruth. And I met Ruth when she was with AEA, and we, you know, I learned from AEA, and then eventually I guess about maybe 7 years ago now, I joined with ATRI and got certified with them. It's just been a lovely journey working with physical therapists and with swimming instructors and just people. So I don't know, I'm thinking about doing maybe some videos to get back to sharing my movement knowledge with them, just to do that. I also do woodworking, so I'm playing with that too. Thank you all for letting me share.
Oh my gosh, I'd love to see some of the woodwork.
Oh, okay.
Get a piece.
It's my company is called Sawdust by Mo and John. So look on Facebook.
Sawdust
Uh-huh.
by Mo and John.
Correct.
Got it. So does that mean your husband is John or your last name is Johnson?
Yeah, well, it's both. His name is John Johnson, yeah. And he's been in woodworking or construction-ish stuff all his life, and he's really enjoyed the woodworking side of it. So we've got now turned our garage into a woodworking shop and going with it. We've been having this business for about 4 years now, and we make all natural sort of things like wooden toys. We're not really calling them toys. They're more of collector's items, let's call it. And so little people, and as well as bowls and spoons we're getting into as well. We got a lathe a couple years ago, so having fun with that.
Okay, the only thing, and I know you're perfect, but if you had turned your garage into a pool, I think you'd be happier.
We have a whole front yard. I've been talking about the pool that needs to be in the front yard for sure. But eventually, we are where we are today because we need to be, like you said.
Right. Excellent. So Renee, we haven't heard from you.
Okay. I'm in New Mexico. I'm Renee Budiger, and I've been with ATRI for maybe over 15 years now. I was working at the VA as a volunteer. However, they still have not reopened. And I'm really, really sad because I think that's one of the reasons suicide is up about 20% amongst veterans, because the VAs are closed. Their rec centers are closed. The pool for therapy is closed. And anyway, I also work at a retirement community. They just opened their pool. So I started 3 weeks ago with one of my clients that I had previously. She's had 3 back surgeries gone bad, and then they told her she had MS. So she got in a chair, and prior to doing pool therapy, she could not walk. She is now walking in the water and swimming. So we get a lane and we do our stuff, and she's more mobile now. She can transfer faster. Previously, because she was out for 7 however many months we were out, it takes her 2 hours to transfer. So she's got it down now to 45 minutes. Yay! And also I am the team leader for our women's ministry, and I write presentations, and I get a lot of my material from Ruth, and I quote her a bunch. That's me.
Thanks, Renee. Oh, that was great. And
Hey,
look,
Jim.
Jim got on, and I can tell you why. It's because you know how women are better than men? It's obvious that Kathy helped him. And it's obvious he's on her computer.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Oh, hi, Kathy.
Hi, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. Go ahead.
See, this takes a woman.
Better late than never, I guess, right?
That's right. So, Jim, I don't know where you're going with this, but we enjoy the ceiling of your house. We've all introduced ourselves, and you're the only one who hasn't. So,
say that again. Repeat that, please.
Please introduce yourself.
Oh, I'm late Jim.
Late.
I'm Jim, healthy, from Boston, and we're always late.
And you know, this makes me think of some of you, is that Jim has gone through knee surgery and done it all on land. And here he is, this aqua person. So tell us about that.
It's going well. They say I'm further along than I should be. The gym is open, so I've been going to the Y.
Pool?
The pool is open, but I did not go in there because it's all kind of, there's no dressing room, no shower until this week. They're opening it. So it was like, you can't get in the water and do the things you have to do in the weight room or the fitness center. So plus up until last week, 2 weeks ago, there were kids in there, still, because the schools hadn't opened yet. So, and you get 45 minutes and they only allow 6 people in the pool, and they have it all blocked off in like little squares. So
you've done it all on land. Good job.
Yes, except for that one thing I tried for you. The spirals. Achi and spiral.
Did you try that in the pool?
Yeah. I sent you that little line for you. You said, "Oh, only you would try it in the water without trying it on my knee."
Oh, that's right. That's right. Here he is, knee replacement, and he's doing spiraling I Chi, which involves, complete spiraling of
Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
It was just what, it was just a lot slower.
oh, okay.
Real good.
It allowed me to focus and embrace the pain.
Gosh.
You know, I have a question for you guys. We were on our staff meeting, obviously Zoom, this week, and we're trying to think of ways to keep ATRI alive because, you know, our events are Zoom and they're much smaller, and we want to continue to pay our speakers as if they were on site. So we're still paying them. I know other stations aren't, but we are. And so I told them, I said, it took me 70 years to get a pool. So 3 years ago, we moved to a house that has a pool. And I said, I could offer a conference of 5 people here. If they could come, there's a hotel not far, and we could have the lecture around the dining room table, and we could play in the pool. And there were so many comments about liability. People would know where you live. It would be a little bit freaky. I mean, seriously, think about this. If you did this, you'd have to have people in your home using your bathroom, but I was still willing to do it, and they suggested no. But you know, I thought maybe it was a way to make some income for ATRI. What do you think?
I think you should hire a lifeguard / bouncer if you're going to have people in your home.
I could use Bud.
Yeah.
Any classes that I've been teaching by Zoom, if I need a person, it's always Bud because he's right here. It's real handy. No, yes. Am I crazy? Yes. Okay. Never mind. I have, but not.
It would be tough.
You what?
I think.
Is he speaking and we're not hearing?
I think it would be very, very tough for you to do that. Just 5 people. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think doing it at a house, yeah, I think it would be kind of not freakish, but kind of weird. You have to have a lounge. You have to have, you know, a restaurant. You have to have. Are you going to cook too?
Are you laughing at my cooking?
I heard Bud laughing.
Ruth?
Yeah.
I was thinking that I like the idea that people would stay at a hotel. In terms of protecting you know, your home or opening to strangers, if they are strangers, would there be a way, do you have a separate entrance? Like, for instance, to get to the pool, do you have a side yard gate, or can people go through the garage? Would there be an opportunity, I don't know how the house is set up, that you could, and I understand the bathroom issue. It's a matter of segregating the bathroom and how to get to the pool. And I think that, and again, I don't know, even, and again, we don't know how long this is going to last, but even if, and I don't know what the setup is, but even if you had to have some sort of construction that, if you had a downstairs bathroom that would be available, and essentially the rules would be, you know, you come through the side yard if you need to use the bathroom, you know, kind of thing. I don't know how your house is set up, but I think it would make you feel better. And I do think that we do need to protect ourselves and our homes and our family members. I also think that maybe if you did it one time with people you knew.
Hi.
Hi, bud.
You taking us on a tour?
Yeah, a portable potty is what you need.
I was going to say porta potty. Right in your backyard, Ruth.
Right.
Here's our pool.
Oh, that's so pretty.
Oh, isn't that beautiful? Oh,
That's
I
so
figured that was in
pretty.
your house. Oh, that's beautiful.
So Ruth, you know, at a beach house, there's that place to shower off outside. It's like the partition.
Right.
Everyone has to use the little partition, shower off, and then leave.
That's right.
But we'd be inside for lecture. Like, I'm thinking about different courses that I'll be teaching during next year. And, you know, you've got to have lecture.
Lecture can be around the pool.
And tables under a tent with a fan.
Yeah.
I don't know how much space you have outside the pool area.
Is that glass or screen?
Screen.
Screen. Oh.
I don't know. Can you? No, you can't.
I think you could put a table outside there, and it looks like there's a door to the outside, and the porta potty. I don't know if the association. It looks like you live, you know, in an.
Yeah, they'd never.
We just got a little tent that pops up, and a porta potty fits inside of it. So it's a self-contained, we have to take care of it thing, but it doesn't look like, you know, a Don's John thing. It's just a little tent.
Little tent.
So aren't we being creative? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know if anybody would be willing, but see, here in Florida, you guys are talking about being shut down, and Florida, we don't care about old people. So,
yeah, you have a great governor down there, Ruth.
Oh, yeah.
It's really watching out for you.
Yeah.
We're very open here in this part of Florida. Miami, I think, isn't, but yeah, so I was thinking.
I'd love to come and stay with you, Ruth.
Yeah, let's just go live with her. Yeah. We'll each go there for a month.
There you go.
Well, you're in Pennsylvania. You could come in February or January.
We'll go in February and celebrate your birthday, Ruth.
Okay.
There we go.
You know,
in DC in February.
Good time to be in Florida.
You know, Ruth, I'm wondering, so many people are snowbirds or they have homes, but they also want to rent. I'm wondering if you could rent a home that has a pool for a month and do it during that month. So you're renting a facility, kind of. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud.
Those are all great ideas. I appreciate your help a lot. So
I have one other idea. Can I say it real quick, Ruth?
Absolutely.
What if instead of having participants come, you had the instructors come one at a time, and because there's so many good ATRI instructors, they would travel to visit you at your pool, teach a very thorough of the courses, their specialties, and just kind of like really nail them down and codify them, and then they'll all be in the same pool, and they'll always be group, so they'll just be like a series. It'll be the ultimate series.
Yeah, videos of everyone.
Right. Well, right now, I mean, here's the thing. Most people, if they need CEUs, have them. And And most people are waiting for live education. So we're going to be, and this will be announced sometime next week, but Chicago in November is changing to Zoom. We just had a meeting with the board, and so Patty, we're not coming to Chicago in November. And yeah, it's hard. I spend a lot of time trying to think of ways. What are other ways to sell education? I'm just like sunk. But this isn't about me, so I think we spent enough time horsing around. It was Sharon's issue that we started with today. And then Bev, what is it with you people on the East Coast?
Let me see. From one Aquarian to another, that's what it is, Ruth. You know, they say Aquarians are, well, we definitely have a bizarre sense of humor. If anybody's on Facebook with Ruth, I don't know. I'd love to know what her sources are, but everybody would. She won't tell, though.
I get them from others. I've
never seen that stuff. It's hilarious, though.
Okay, so
in the sea of all the chaos going on, there's Ruth.
There's Ruth.
Making us laugh.
Yeah.
Making us laugh.
Hey, here's the thing is that when I got on Facebook, I have people from AEA International, a lot of international people.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are friends, but some of those people I don't know because they're friends of friends. They're aquatic friends of friends, but I don't know them. So I decided I would never put anything personal on there.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't get to see pictures of my grands, who are all beautiful. But I put jokes on because I think some part of my job in life is to make people smile.
Thank you.
And lighten the load. So yeah, so if you're on Facebook and you want to be friends, just know you get a lot of jokes.
No, you really make some people stay, and some people have commented on that, you know, all the stuff you get, and some of your, I mean, it's so ridiculous that it's hilariously funny. I mean, I don't know if everybody's on, but it's just.
Yeah. Okay, so
I appreciate it anyway.
Thanks, Bev.
You have that lovely sarcastic sense of humor that I love. That's very Midwest.
Because you have the same.
Very Wisconsin, sarcastic.
Okay, so Mary, you can stop recording.
Oh, I do have one question before you stop. We mentioned briefly about insurance, getting insurance, and that's something that I have researched quite a bit, but what I haven't been able to determine is what claims, if any, have ever been made by aquatic practitioners, and how have those companies resolved? Like, is there a study anywhere that tells us there have been 46 claims in the last 5 years and they have been in favor of or not in favor of the practitioners?
As far as I know, we're not having any of that kind of stuff. Most accidents in the pool are slip and falls on the deck.
Right.
And second most are slip and falls in the locker room.
Right.
So if you look at legal things going on in the pool, that's what's going on. That's not specifically therapy, but that's as close as we can get to overall thoughts.
But practitioners themselves are not held liable. It's the facility then, right?
It's right. Well, when somebody sues, they sue everybody they can.
Right.
So, yeah, so you need to make sure you're protected personally, or if you're an employee, you are protected.
Right.
So I can't tell you that. I don't know of any cases like that.
Do you have a recommendation of what the best provider is?
No, I don't know.
Is anybody?
I think I had, was it K and H or K and A? I don't remember because I checked some of the price. AEA has a group that they like, and it's not K and H, it's something else, or K and A, whatever. But that it was the most reasonable of all the ones that I tried.
The other question I have with regard to insurance is when you're practicing out of your home, then you have liability under your homeowner's insurance. And my provider, USAA, would not allow me to practice in my home. I had to go to Lloyd's of London to get coverage, and that was cost prohibitive.
Oh my gosh. First of all, I think all I have is a rider on my homeowner's insurance for my liability in terms of going out and teaching. So also, besides looking for that specific insurance separately, see if you can get a rider on your homeowners. Secondly, working from your home, yeah, if you're going into a full business of it, that's one thing. But I don't know that many people do that. So definitely. Oh, what does your husband say, Mary?
Well, I'm an insurance girl. I worked in insurance for 43 years. And I did property and casualty insurance. And you need to have what Ruth said, a rider. Philadelphia Insurance also does some professional liability. What Jim said is get an umbrella over and above your homeowners, because umbrella coverage actually covers what might not be covered under your underlying. So you need to have an umbrella policy, and you should never go without insurance, because you're going to have to pay the legal fees, and you're going to have to pay the settlement. And insurance companies many times settle out of court. They just pay a small amount to close the claim and get the person to go away. So you want to have an insurance carrier. Being a massage therapist, I have insurance through my massage therapy, but it's something that we can look into, but don't go without insurance. And incidental things in your home is one thing, but also if you're having a full-blown business, that's another thing, you know.
Right. I expect that I'm going to have to, I don't have a pool in my home anymore, but I expect that I'm going to have to pick up insurance, because in California and LA area, it's warm up year round, and probably 1 out of 5 houses has a pool. So I was thinking house calls might be a good idea.
Right. I like it.
Thanks.
We have to go because Bud and I have to go. So I have to end this. But we'll be together again in a couple weeks, right?
You know.
Yes.
Like the 11th, is that when the next one is?
I thought it was the 17th, but
Okay.
It's in 2 weeks.
I'll be back.
Today.
Okay. I'll send the notice.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
Perfect. You're perfect.
Bye.
Mwah.
Bye.